Welcome to Girl Talk. I'm Nicole D. Miller, author, blogger, speaker, hybrid book publisher, and your host. At Girl Talk, we are a safe space for female leaders to engage in healing and edifying conversation. This is your Me Too, empathetic corner, where we have authentic and transformative dialogue designed to uplift and connect high-achieving women like you. Are you looking for a safe space to cultivate sisterhood with other like-minded female bosses? Leave your cape at the door and join the conversation. Hi guys, and welcome to Girl Talk 101. I'm your host, Nicole D. Miller. Get ready for part 2 of our conversation with the one and only NAACP-nominated entrepreneurial and writing legend, Regina Jones. Now, if you missed part 1 for any reason, make sure you run it back. In this upcoming interview, we dive more into Regina's journey of becoming the first Black female publisher. She and her husband started Soul in response to the Watts riots, with no idea it would become a platform for many up-and-coming Black music artists. These artists are now legends in the industry. I mean, am I the only one who got chills when Regina discussed her exclusive interview with Michael Jackson for Jet magazine? And the easy access she had to Aretha Franklin? I was hanging on every word. Well, if you enjoyed those nuggets in part 1, you're sure to enjoy part 2. So, sit back, relax, grab your favorite beverage, and join the conversation.
And they were gifted with talent. And then we suck them dry. And the wealth doesn't make up for it. I loved being behind the scenes at Soul. I loved lying to you if you had something you wanted and saying, oh, let me check with my husband and get back to you. That was bullshit. I didn't have to check anything, but it kept me not being the decision maker and kept you off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It kept me free. And the exposure from this documentary is an uncomfortable space for me. And I wish I could tell you that even as casual as this conversation is with you, I don't know how they do it, how the celebs do it one after another. I recently celebrated a friend's 40th birthday, and I didn't realize she was that much of a baby. But the last time I had celebrated something with her before she flew off to Cleveland, Mary Wilson was there of the Supremes. And Mary said, "Are you speaking to me?" And I looked at her and I said, "Mary, you look so damn good. I didn't even know that was you. I kept thinking it must have been a younger you, you know?" And we laughed and we talked. I always felt close to her. And Sherry Payne, I'm amazed that I always feel close to her. These are people that I just really put my defenses down, and I felt like they always put their defenses down or protection or whatever. And very few times can I say that to be the truth. Early on in the Soul days, it was no big deal. Cannonball Adderley, Nat Adderley, stop by the house, you know, come by to a party at the house or the office. Actresses and different people like that. But that was late 60s and early 70s. By the 80s and before Soul went out of business in 82, you had a whole bunch of publicists blocking the door and making demands. I remember, oh my God, now I'll forget her name right quick. She was Casablanca Records, and it'll come back. Anyhow, Minnie Riperton was another one that I got really close to and loved her dearly. And I remember being at a performance at some club one night, and she asked me to go to the bathroom with her. And we went to the restroom, and she told me she had cancer. And we're in a stall in the ladies' restroom talking privately, you know. And I felt very close to her. Donna Summers. Donna Summers people wanted a story on Donna. We said, sure. Then they said, oh, well, we're going to give you the photograph to use. And we said, hell no, we have photographers. We take our own photos. And then the publicist finally worked out, well, you guys have 20 minutes, with attitude. And I don't want to be racist, but, they're not Black publicists at the time. And, well, one was Nellie Prestwood. So anyhow, my photographers, Bobby Holland and Bruce Tolman, go and they set up to do this interview, this photo. And Donna comes in and says, you guys aren't kidding, are you? She spent 4 hours with them, made them cancel the other people, everything else she had going on. Then, that was a gesture of you guys are taking care of business. And I'm going to treat you like royalty, like you're treating me. There were instances that those kind of things happened when you could tell the artist was fighting back, but at the same time, they're dictated to by the same restraints everybody else is. You might think they're completely free, but they're not. And I don't know where I'm going or what I'm talking about, and it's okay.
Trust me, I'm eating it all up. Regina, I'm just like, yes, just give us whatever you want to give us.
You know what saddens me, Nicole, is I don't remember much of it. It's like Dee Dee was mentioning us being at the premiere of The Wiz, and where she was sitting a few seats from Berry Gordy's father, Mr. Gordy. And she said, and you were there? I don't remember it. I mean, I know I saw it. I was probably at the premiere because you were at every big thing, but I don't remember. There was just so much, Nicole. Nor do I sit unless I'm talking like this.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff comes, but I don't sit and think about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It just isn't, I don't need to go back in the past. I love living in the moment. I like being present today. I don't like what's going on in the world in 2026, but I'm present here. I don't need to go travel and be back in some other glorious time.
Yeah. And I love being able to hear it because I know that this is my time and these are the shoulders that I'm standing on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a part of us knowing our identity, especially as Black people, when so much of that was stolen. And it is to honor you. It is to honor those who went before. So I love it. I'm like, yeah, I want to know all of it. I'll say first and foremost, congratulations on your nomination for an NAACP award. I mean, that was huge. You are making waves in every generation of your life, which makes sense as to why you don't need to glory in the past because you're still doing it.
It's weird. That's all I got to tell you. It's strange. Still got to find a distributor for our documentary. It's interesting. I've learned, I never did documentaries. I had no interest in documentaries. I really respect and admire people that do documentaries because they're definitely not doing it for the money. They really,
Yeah.
they really have to work like country mules to make things happen. And then they gotta, I think they did a wonderful job on my documentary. I'm very happy with the producers, the directors, the film editor. The film editor, to me, she's a magician. She took all my old stuff and turned it into magic. But, they're still trying to get a distribution deal. And I'm trying to get up the courage. And it's not even courage. I can ask for anything for Nicole. I can ask for anything for anybody else. It's hard for me to ask for anything for Regina. So I'm still trying to get up the courage to make a phone call to someone I've met a couple of times. And maybe when we finish today, I'm going to make that damn call and be done with it so I don't have to think about it another day. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully the phone system won't go down or anything, but
well,
I'm going to make that call. Huh?
Accountability. I'll reach out and say, hey, did you make that call, Regina?
Okay. Oh, God. Yes, I need accountability. Just like getting out front and walking every damn day. You know what I'm saying?
I will
Oh,
say, back to your point about the kids. I love that the kids were kind to you. I love that they honored you. And that's how the kids were yesterday. When I first got to the middle school, I had two of them waiting for me to escort me. Like very proper, great manners. Even when they came to my table, they had like a worksheet of questions to ask me. And you can tell different personalities because some of the kids were just like off the top of their head. But the other ones who were super studious, who was me when I was a kid, were like, okay, check this one off and do this, you know? But to your point, we need to make sure we're portraying them in that way in our media and in the narrative in our society.
well, a heartbreak I had was just in the last year. I have a granddaughter, one of my granddaughters who's 30. She shared with me that she can't write or read cursive.
Tough time.
And and I said, well, what do you mean you can't read? She said, well, Grammy, sometimes when you send me cards or notes, I have to have help or I can't read what you said. I said, oh my God, I'll print from now on. But I'm blown away that this grown woman, you know, um, that I've watched since her birth
Yeah.
can't read cursive. She was not taught cursive, and I didn't know it.
That puts things into perspective for me. So I'm 43. I can read cursive. But a friend of mine was just telling me, and she's a teacher and she teaches kids too. She was like, we're of the age where we still remember when the TV shut off. So I didn't know that this was what was happening, but the vertical
Yes,
colored line, like that meant the TV was off.
yes,
No worry, it was not airing anymore. In our generation, so we knew when there were landlines, so we really were the crossover of experiencing the transition to where we still remember and have a grid for that, but we're still up to pace with what's happening now.
yeah,
So, but when she put in perspective of like that for me, I'm like, oh yeah, that was the TV going off.
yeah, 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 yeah. And I remember when the first TV came.
But these kids are bombarded with technology 24/7. It never
Yeah,
goes off.
yeah, yeah. It doesn't. There's not a moment of silence, is there? I not until you're saying it, but there's not a moment in 24 hours, 7 days a week, that you are forced into an isolated silence
When
because
you may
you might pick up a book or you might think.
have a thought and create. So much of
Yes,
the creativity comes out of that nothingness, that quiet space. And for them, I do see their creativity on TikTok with dances and things like that. I get into it. But I do think they're stunted in that way. And that's why it's important for this generation to be able to pour that into them at home and give them that foundation of writing in cursive or reading in cursive or having quiet time to still their bodies.
and we're not teaching the teachers
Hmm.
how to communicate because I'm just thinking about how every teacher I know that's still teaching is just counting down their days till they can retire. And that's not the joy that it used to be in teaching. It's And I know there's no amount of money on the planet you could pay me to go try to teach a class.
That ain't my gift. I tell you.
I mean,
I've walked with my friend who's been a teacher for 20 years and she's had to take a break and it can really burn you out and my heart goes out to the ones that are called to that space. And she genuinely loves her job. She's a creative. She pours into them, but she's needed a break. It's like, so hats off to the teachers out there. I will say, listening to your story, the message I'm getting is it's being in the right position at the right time because you talked about how easy
yeah,
it was to access these people. It's because they were up and comers. So you got connected with
yes,
families, you got
yeah,
connected with them personally, and it is about that timing. One of my questions is there a memoir coming? We have the documentary out. Is
yeah. I have tried to write it off that the documentary is the memoir. And there's so much missing, but unfortunately, so much of what's missing, I still can't access. Like I said, the happy memories of being thrilled to be in the studio with Stevie Wonder and Minnie Riperton, because I was always thinking about business. What else I had to do. I was there as a respect when I was there, because I felt I had to be, not because that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be taking care of the other part of the business. And, but what does come up is all the hurt and pain of my life when I write. And I just don't want to, I've delved in it for years. I've got hundreds of written pages. Um, I've tried twice working with people to help me pull it together. And both of them I ran from because it was just too hard. Um, I'd sit down to write something lovely, and a dark story will come out that I don't even remember. I realized that one of my main survival skills is that I can bury the pain and keep going and not even let you know that you messed with me. I mean, I can keep this straight face. You could have knocked the shit out of me and my face don't change and you never know that you got me. Okay? And subsequently, I buried countless piles of crap deep inside. And something will happen when I sit down and put my fingers on the keyboard or my pen in the hand with paper. I'll sit down. Oh, Nicole, it was a lovely interview. And another whole story, honey, will come out. So I have not written more than, twice, maybe three times this year. And that's not like me. I was a person who wrote to save my life. I wrote every single day, not about celebrities, not about journalism, but to heal, to live. I wrote to live. And I know that is part of why I'm relatively sane and not in jail for homicide. The writing has been my freedom. And I wish everybody could write to get in and let it just pour out, whatever it is, or tape it on a tape recorder or stand in a room with other friends and shout it out. You know, uh, um, I was supposed to write with three other writers. We call ourselves First Tuesday.
I love it.
And I sent them a note Sunday. I can't make it Tuesday. Because the subject matter, there was only two of us the month before, was so damn deep for both of us. It was like, I mean, we talked about our mamas, our sacred cows, our sacred. You don't ever say anything bad about your mama.
Yeah.
You don't even let yourself think it. And we both wrote things and shared them with one another. And we're both shocked that we felt that safe and that much trust that we could do this. And last year was really weird. The top of the year in January, First Tuesday, very dear friend of mine, poet, fabulous Sister Sequoia, asked us to come together. And there were, I think at that time, four of us. And Sequoia S. Pearl Sharp, who was also Sandra Sharp, a fabulous poet and actress, and Kelly, who I didn't know well. I'd met a younger woman. And Sequoia died on the 25th or 26th of January after bringing us together for the first time. And then later in the year, we still kept trying and missing and trying, and we do it. S. Pearl made her transition. She got sick. We knew she was sick, and she died. And so the young one, Kelly, and I have tried to revive it and keep us going, and we've met a few times. And I think there's a part of me that's afraid to get involved with these three women. I don't want no more losses.
Right.
Yeah. Writing has saved my life. I can't say it enough. Anybody, you don't have to be a writer to write. You can write shit down over and over again. Just get it out. Get it out of your gut or wherever it's buried in your heart or in your emotions. Writing to me is it's the best medicine there is on the planet. And, when I hear and learn about you and others that are self-publishing or writing or publishing books and keep on at it. Even yesterday, last night, one of the gentlemen that picked me up and took me to CAM, he's a poet. I didn't know he's been a poet and writing in Japan with some people for years. And he included two of the poems out of my little book called Pieces of My Life. He included two of my poems in one of their little things. And so there it is in English. And then on the other side, there it is in Japanese.
Wow.
And I'm so honored. I don't even know how to reach out and tell John, thank you. And, and of course, he brought copies to give me. So I have them. He covered all points. And he explained to me that the women in Japan and the poetry group aren't writing from their souls lately. It's been all kind of off in the head fairyland stuff. And he wanted to show my soul. I said, well, what did you use? Which of my poems? And he picked More Than Just a Dick. I don't think so.
I cannot. OMG.
Okay. And so I just wonder about a nice, refined Japanese lady reading that. I mean, and it's so weird. Yeah, it's this little book. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, it's all backwards. See, there's the other thing. They go backwards, and it just, I mean, I'm just blown away. It just blows me away.
Sure.
And it goes backwards. I mean, oh, and then they did this one. He did this one. Motherhood prevents suicide. How many times I wanted to, but could not. The house was always dirty. Soon as laundry's done, dishes too, don't want his mother seeing what a slob I am. Tranquilizers slow me down. A whole bottle will stop my breath. Children won't understand. It's not them I'm running from. I'm running from myself. And he put that one in there. And then he put in the More Than Just a... And yeah, More Than Just a... I don't think so. I wanted you to be my very special man, my love, my heart. Man, are they the same? Too often not castrated by society and emotionally dead, only thing left intact that allowed to talk back. An instrument of pain and punishment. Pleasure and joy. Is it the only thing remaining of your madness and your power? Or are you of a man until you bear your rod? Then are you proud and feeling like a man? Do you wield it like a weapon? Thrust it upon your victims, claiming hearts? Have you any conscience? Have you any soul, slaughtering women, afraid of men? Revenge upon your mother? I must have written that 10, 20 years ago. Thank God I'm not there right now. And, I birthed 4 sons and then a daughter I was gifted with as the 5th child. So I know and love men. And my sons are old men to you now because they're in their 60s. Everybody's in their 60s, my kids. And, they're fathers and they're good men. But the damage from my own relationships, there it was coming out in that. And we got so much work to do. I talk about the young and the old. Let's not even go into the male and the female work. If we didn't have hormones that shift, I don't know if there'd be a species of human on the earth because, lately in quiet time, sitting on my front porch with my dogs, I had this vision of a toad jumps up on the porch every night and you tell it, go, go, you ugly thing, go. And then one night it jumps up when our hormones kick in and we go, oh, my prince has arrived. Come on in. I don't mean to make fun of it, but it's nature. God gave us
Right.
this.
Otherwise, we wouldn't want to fool them. But yeah, I get it.
We speak totally different languages. We're wired differently. And there's nothing wrong with either species. We just are.
I definitely, first and foremost, want to thank you for sharing your heart through your poetry. Poetry is very
Thank you.
powerful, and I don't consider myself a poet, although when I have written poetry, it's usually when I'm very hurt. It's usually a way to really express deep pain.
Hmm.
So I get it. It's raw, it's real, and it's still a part of us, and it's still a part of our story.
Yeah. 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 So, back to writing the memoir, I don't have a clue. I've at least gathered all the raw pages in the drawer right to my left. Every time I find something in another drawer, something, I put them all in this, one thing, and the computer there, I think, fairly organized. But as far as trying to put it together and figure out what the hell the story is, I don't know.
Mm.
Let's face it, uh, Black girl, only child growing up in Watts, only child of parents in their 30s who drank and gambled and worked, and gets knocked up at 15, has kids at 16, 17, 18, 19, and 22. How in the hell does she end up a boss running a publication, editing editors who, Leonard hiring him, he was USC graduate. You know what I'm saying? Hiring these people with educations,
Because you had no formal education, correct?
not really. Not really. I mean, I took classes, but no graduate studies or graduating college. I graduated night school uh, with pregnant with my second child. Okay. Fortunately, I was relatively intelligent and did decent um, grades. But history, I hated. I took history, I remember, and got a C, and I took it again to bring up the C minus, and it was a D.
That's your forte.
And I was an A student in math always, and in algebra, and when I took geometry, D. So these are memory things. And when I talk about memory, it tells me I never had a memory to just photograph and keep it, where I know people that have photographic memories. Tell you what page on a book that such and such was on it. It's always blown my mind. But as far as spatial and things like that, I can arrange it. I can, like you said, coordinate conferences, dinners,
Mhm.
deadlines, anything. I can coordinate and wonder why other people don't understand it. But, I understand we're all just wrapped a little individually.
And I completely relate to your giftedness with math and algebra. That was me. And then
Uh-huh.
geometry, I'm like, what's happening? And history, same thing. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely similar. I will
Yeah.
say, because you were in this field where there were not a lot of women bosses, did you have any mentors? If you did, who were they? What did you learn? If you didn't, how did you figure it out?
I didn't have any other choice than to figure it out. I can't think of any mentors. I can think of friends that that go back a long way. Brenda Andrews, uh, early on we met, and she was, I think, probably a secretary or an assistant or whatever you called them in those days at A&M Records. And we friends to this day. Um, she became, head of publishing for A&M Records. Others that when I went to work as a publicist at Dick Griffey Productions, I mean, soul has folded completely, bellied up. My mother has died. She died in 81, soul folded in 82, and 22-year marriage came to an end, 81, 82. And I was down and out, and the marshals were knocking on the door with subpoenas and shit. And Dick Griffey invited me out to dinner, Solar Records, and he offered me the job. I finally was like, why are we here? you know, and finally he says, well, I want to hire you as my vice Jones. Never call me Regina Jones. I want to hire you as my vice president of publicity. And I says, I don't know how to do publicity. He says, I'm willing to pay you for 6 months to prove you do. And I said, when do I start? And then my friends Ornetta Barber and Jalila Larsel came over and said they were there for me. Anything I needed, they would support me and help me learn through the learning curve. And these were young women I had worked with, but were not my peers because they worked for companies.
Mm-hmm.
But here they were coming to my aid to begin a whole new career.
And what age were you at that point?
83, I would have been 41.
You were
Yeah.
starting over at 41.
Yeah. Starting all over at 40, 41. Yeah. Everything had gone belly up. I remember being there with Dick and his legal guy, Virgil Roberts, who's still a friend. And I'm going to court because I'm being sued and I'm going to lose my house and I'm going to be homeless. And Virgil said, you're just going to go and be bankrupt and start all over. It's no big deal. And I go to court and that's what happened. White people, rich people knew about bankruptcy. I didn't know shit about no bankruptcy. That meant you were a loser. I didn't know how to use the system. I'm still in the damn same house almost 60 years now. Okay? Twice I've almost been out of it, but the universe wanted me still here, and I don't know why. Yeah, it's just the weirdest thing. My archives, like I said, are at UCLA, so I don't have to worry about them. There's some in the garage. I'm trying to straighten the last of it up because I don't want to. It's a weird one about me. I don't want to leave a mess for people to clean up after I'm gone. I want to take care of my own business the way I want it handled before. And so I have really gotten myself down to very few things. It's a lot for some, but it's little for some. And someone was over one day and they were saying, oh, when you go, I love that picture. Would you put that I get that painting? It was on the wall. I reached up on the wall and handed her the painting. I said,
when you go, I can't.
you know, here, you don't have to wait till I'm gone. You covet this, take it. It's like,
Who says that to somebody when you go? That is so rude
okay,
to me. I cannot.
okay. But I love it if people can be that honest about it. Another grandchild saw something on the wall and asked for it. And I gave it to him. And then another grandchild said, what happened to that? And I said, so and so. And he said, well, I wanted it. I said, well, you should say something. So if you see stuff I got that you want, you need to tell me now because you might get it right then on the spot.
That's actually real because my grandmother, interestingly enough, she had a similar story as you. She had gotten pregnant at 15, had her first at 16, had her next at 17, teenage mom, went back to night school, all the things. However, when she passed, and she and I were like this, she helped raise me just like your mom helped raise your kids. And I didn't get my inheritance
Mm-hmm.
because it was stolen. But had I been on
Mm-hmm.
it when she was alive, I could have got what I was due.
Right, right. And see, that's what people have to think about. It's not morbid. My baby boy was in town from Hawaii, and he kept saying he was coming in to visit. He was coming in to visit, and then finally he said, "Oh, somebody died," and he said, "I'm coming in for the funeral, and I'll get to see you." And I said, "You should make coming to see me, the living, the priority, not coming to see the dead." I said, I don't want no funeral. I said, any roses you would have sent me or flowers, send them to me so I can smell them now. I cannot smell them from my grave or when I'm gone. The same thing, don't have some damn memorial, everybody come together and, oh, all that crying is the shit you didn't do while the person was alive. Do what you can while the person's alive. And when they go, no, they're at peace. Let them go. And, I hear that's part of a Buddhist philosophy. I didn't know that, but that's how I'm wired. And as a child, I can remember being in the church and watching at the funerals. The one who screamed and fell out and did the whole bit, she was the one who was a bitch all those years to that person who died. So clean up your shit while we're alive. Don't carry it after. You know what I'm saying? Do it now. This is the moment. What we have right now, right here, Nicole, this is all there is. We don't know what might fly through the damn air in the next second.
None of us knows our number of our days.
Nothing. We have no awareness, and I wish one of the grandkids was a writer. No, but I wouldn't want them to read all this garbage about me. See what I mean?
On that note, what is your legacy? How would you define your legacy?
I don't know. Love people. Yesterday, I said to son was taking me to the dentist. I said, I really don't like people very much these days. I said, but I love them, and that's true. But I have to keep my mouth shut. I can't criticize. I got to let people be. Let them. And I've been going to get a tattoo for 2 years. I've talked about it, and it became let 'em, LET''em, let 'em on my forearm. So anytime I'm talking, I can look at my arm. And about a week or two ago, it became let God. And then I was talking to the tattoo artist who happens to be in a relationship with one of my grandsons. And I said, okay, I've decided it's let's God. Let's make a date for the tattoo. So we're going to get together on May 19th. And she's going to tattoo let God on my forearm. And I said, that's why I couldn't make up my mind. It wasn't let him. It was let God. And I think how silly this is at your age, putting a tattoo on your body. You don't have any tattoos, but I want that on me. Let God. And that's where I am right now. Just let God and try my best to be obedient. And the legacy is if I can leave it to people to be kind to each other, to love each other, and to let each other be whoever the hell they are. Now, if they rub you wrong, you can distance yourself politely,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't change them.
That's good.
You can't change anybody.
I love that you're getting a tattoo.
Yeah. And the biggest lesson I've learned, my number one priority now is me. And in trying to change myself, it's the hardest damn thing I've ever done in my life. And if I were my own client, I'd give back the money and fire and and resign. It is a hell of a job to even try to change yourself. It's hard work. It's damn near impossible. And that's with the desire in my heart to do that. I want to be better. And when people call out of the blue just because they were thinking about me, I'm pleased because it'll come on my mind and my heart, say to call Sheila. And I don't get around to it. Maybe 2-3 days, it keeps coming back. I try to be obedient and dial that number just to tell that person I'm thinking about you. I love you. How are you? Let people know you love them while they're here. What you love about them, what you admire about them, something to lighten their loads and help them better, because we don't have a clue what one another is going through. We keep those straight faces on, we smile, and we tune out the ones that whine and complain all the time.
Yeah.
So just, every morning I wake up, it's a gift and a blessing, and I'm grateful to be alive. And thank you for this opportunity to write verbally.
Well, I'm in writer's heaven right now. So thank you. And as we wrap up, what should we be on the lookout for you at this point in your journey? What projects, what ideas, what visions, what things should we be looking out for from Regina?
To see Who in the Hell is Regina Jones on Netflix. And I choose that as the streaming or whatever you want to call the different things, because most old people know how to get Netflix. Uh, to stop being shy and post on Facebook, Who in the Hell is Regina Jones? Not that. No. Here we go. Pieces of My Life. To go on Amazon and buy a copy and read the poetry and let me know what you think. And to finish the memoir. And my number 2 project is to get my cousin, Marion Mark Pryor, out of prison. He served 40 years. He went in at 18, life without parole. And it's the hardest damn system I've ever tried to get into, figuring out how to do this and looking at how the laws are and what big business prisons are that we don't think about. It's just another business forum, keeping people locked up for inordinate amount of time. And how much we pay to imprison them, we could pay to rehabilitate them.
Right.
That's my number 2 project. And then everything else falls behind those two. Me and Mark right now are it. And that could shift at any minute. Like I said, I'm about to give back that money on me. Thank you so much, Nicole.
Thank you. We're going to share your information in the show notes so people can access your book. They can access the documentary. You and I will be keeping in touch. We'll be on the lookout for it on Netflix. And again, I just want to give you your flowers now. Thank you for all you endured, all you overcame, letting your light shine in spite of the darkness, pushing through those hard days so that the next generation can soar. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I love that Regina was one of the early feminists of our time. She was a female boss before there was a term female boss. It's sad, though, that she didn't have mentors, but she did glean from even younger women when she pivoted in her career after Soul and became VP of Publicity. One of the things I found interesting was that Regina shares that she was at the premiere of The Wiz, inches away from Berry Gordy, and yet she was living so fast she barely remembered she was there. I've heard others in the entertainment industry discuss how fast life is flying by and how difficult it is to take it all in. But one thing I love about Regina is that she doesn't glorify the past and stay stuck there. She lives in the present. Her NAACP nomination for Who in the Hell is Regina Jones is evidence of that. In this conversation, we also talked about what's happening with our youth. They can't write or read cursive. They're not reading books. How is AI affecting their critical thinking and literary comprehension? I believe it's our responsibility as the village, as the parents, as the mentors, to carve out spaces of silence to birth their creativity. We need to know our elders, like Regina, to know where we come from, especially as Black Americans, when so much of our heritage has been stolen. I so loved Regina's vulnerability and the way she blessed us with her poetry. She truly entrusted us with the chambers of her heart, and after hearing it, I can see why she said that she wrote to live. I resonate with how God used writing and creativity to save me from suicidal ideation and start healing from grief and loss. Regina is such an example of growing in grace. She has a teachable spirit, which has enabled her to keep growing at every age. I hope that after hearing this conversation, you see why we need to give our elders their flowers now. Okay. Thank you guys for joining part 2 of Girl Talk 101 with Regina Jones. Be on the lookout for her documentary, which I'm sure we'll see on Netflix soon. Tap into the show notes to learn more about her and discover her poetry book, Pieces of My Life. And remember, I attract amazing women doing amazing things. So guess what, sis? That means you're amazing. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. To continue the conversation, join our Girl Talk community by following @GirlTalkCLE on Instagram and Facebook.com/HTOHB, where you can join the Girl Talk Facebook group. You can follow me personally on Instagram @HTOHB, on Facebook.com/HTOHB, and at YouTube.com/@HTOHB. Feel free to reach out via email info@indiemillerpublishing.com. If you're a writer who wants to take the next steps into becoming a published author, you can book a one-on-one consultation at indiemiller.pub. Just let me know you heard about my publishing house through Girl Talk, and I'll give you a 50% discount on our one-on-one. If you'd like weekly inspirational nuggets, you can subscribe to my blog and monthly newsletter at NicoleDmiller.com, where you can learn more about me and my writings. Till next time.